First, though, from popular mechanics. Scientists want to use people as antennas to power 6G. Why? Because your body is pretty great at harvesting wasted energy. Well, most people's bodies are wasted energy. But not here at ESN, because we're full of energy and we're ready to go. We're powered up. We're way beyond 6G. So this right here is saying that 6G telecommunications could come from visible light communication. Researchers at the University of Massachusetts Amherst believe using humans as part of the antenna system offers the most efficient way to harvest waste energy. And they want to come out with this by 2030. Notice that time, 2030. The date to 2030 links with so many different ideas, from the singularity to this transition of smart cities and smart grids and a worldwide network of sensors and digital currencies and amazing possibilities. You could get everything you wanted within 15 minutes of this smart city. You don't even have to leave your pod. You can get it all from the convenience of your own pod with 6G. Maybe. So they don't know exactly yet how 6G wireless technology is going to work, but researchers at the University of Massachusetts Amherst believe using humans as antennas to power 6G may be the most viable way to harvest additional energy that could be otherwise wasted. So, always present effort to speed up informational exchange. Scientists have already started investigating visible light communication, basically a wireless version of fiber optics that uses flashes of light to transmit information. Adding VLC to 6G spurred the UMass Amherst team to dig even deeper. First, some background on 6G. As a refresher, 5G, what is considered the fifth and most recent generation of cellular broadband networks, is still basically in its infancy, as I was saying a moment ago. 5G, true 5G networks will operate in millimeter wave frequencies from 30 to 300 gigahertz. So if you have a phone that says it's 5G and you find out it's not at 30 to 30 gigahertz, well, that's like it's not true 5G. But that's one thing they've been pushing in the marketing, to sell more phones and sell more wireless gadgets, is this new 5G technology. And that caused a big stir in the media. Some people got quite concerned, and other people were like, look, 5G is so weak it won't even go through a raindrop. Like I said before, anytime I get 5G on my phone, it actually seems slower. But it's not true 5G. It's not pushing 30 gigahertz or 300 gigahertz. That's fast. So when you get into 6G, you're stepping above that fifth generation. Like, look at this. This is saying exactly what I've been saying. Some cell phone providers cheat. However, by claiming the upper end of the 4G spectrum as 5G. So there was a new study at UMass Amherst. Scientists found humans could play a crucial role in making VLC more efficient by using their bodies as a carrier for coiled copper to catch waste energy from VLC. The lead study author is Ji Zhang from UMass Amherst, professor of information and computer sciences. VLC is quite simple and interesting. Instead of using radio signals to send information wirelessly, it uses the light from LEDs that can turn on and off up to 1 million times per second. Now, the downside of VLC comes from a high rate of leakage of energy with the emitting of side-channel radio wave signals. The researchers believe that if they can harvest the wasted radio frequency energy, they can put it to good use by powering small electronic devices. So they experimented with wires, coils, backgrounds, and the scientists realized the human body offers the best medium, up to 10 times better than any other setting tested, for amplifying a copper coil's ability to collect leaked RF energy. Then they built the bracelet, an inexpensive gadget that is meant to be worn on the forearm but can adapt into a ring, belt, or necklace to harvest lost energy. The coiled copper bracelet can reach up to microwatts, enough to support on-body health monitoring sensors, which require little power to work, the team says. So you couple the copper coils with VLC systems, use humans as antennas, and that powers up this technology. Ultimately, Zhang says we want to be able to harvest waste energy from all sorts of sources in order to power future technology. Now, let's not forget how much your DNA can store digital information. They could take a garage, a two-car garage, all the data ever uploaded on the internet, all the data ever uploaded electronically could be stored in a two-car garage with DNA. I started researching this when Harvard was doing studies on DNA storage. And they could store exuberant amounts in just 1 gram of DNA over 10 years ago. That has exponentially multiplied in 10 years. Where is it going to be 10 years from now? And it makes sense because, I mean, our DNA is the original hard drive. You know, it is divine, it is cosmic, right? It is natural order, like our DNA. It's just, it stores energy, it stores memories. We could probably we'll get to a point where we're going to take our DNA and artificial intelligence will be able to extract that DNA into memories, into playable memories in a virtual reality as well as augmented reality system or systems within 3 to 10 years. They've already got technologies that can take your brain waves. Artificial intelligence will take your brainwave and decode it within 75% accuracy. Just by seeing something and then thinking it later, it can take what you're thinking and turn it into the object. Not just letters and numbers anymore. We're talking objects, abstract. It's incredible. So this 6G technology and the time frame of 2030, the implantables, the Neuralinks, the digital currencies, the smart cities, the world is definitely transitioning into super fast, super efficient communications and capabilities. Some people might get really freaked out with this kind of technology, and I can understand. And other people are going to be super gung-ho. You know, I'm looking at both sides here and attempting to define balance, because balance, it's good to have balance in everything. Especially when you have people that are so extreme, it takes others to bring it together. So now we've got 6G technologies running in the terahertz range. You know, once again, what is 6G? 6G is anticipated to reach rates of up to 1 terabyte per second. 5G can only deliver speeds up to 20 gigabytes per second. Additionally, 6G is anticipated to have substantially lower latency, which is almost instantaneous data transfer. From what they want to do, human to human, human antenna to human antenna. Does 6G already exist? It's currently known, it's in development, it's eventually going to take over 5G, this article says, and it has the potential to lead us into a new era of wireless technology and transform the world. Now, some people claim that if it's non-ionizing radiation, that it's completely safe and harmless. And then there's other scientists that disagree with that. So, you know, do your own research, and definitely something to keep on the radar. Post China Science, eyes on 6G safety as Chinese scientists find terahertz radiation boosts brain cell growth in mice. The discovery can help assess new communication technology and also develop therapies to treat brain diseases, Beijing researchers say. A separate study by a team from Xi'an Jiatong University finds terahertz radiation can make young mice smarter, but the same effect not found in old mice. Scientists who observed the accelerated growth of mouse neurons after the rodents were exposed to brief low-dose radiation from terahertz waves say their findings have implications for future communication devices. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally am not too excited about having an additional layer of frequencies on top of all the other frequencies that they're already blasting around us, whether or not it's non-ionizing or not. Here's another article. Biz China. 6G communications can be safe for health, but this is not certain. No, it's not. A study by scientists from China revealed a tangible effect of terahertz radiation, which will be created by 6G communication equipment on the biology of the brain. Permissible doses of radiation accelerated the growth of brain cells in mice by 2.5 times. Also, with regular exposure to terahertz signals, mice showed better learning ability. The discovery raises questions about the safety of 6G communications and at the same time opens the way to brain therapy. Today, in general, medicine does not consider the radiation of cell phones and smartphones to be dangerous for human health. However, the transition to the 6G communication standard in early 2030s stands apart. 6G safety. Chinese researchers discovered that terahertz radiation stimulates brain cell development in mice. The future 6G cellular standard involves increasing the frequency of the radio signal in order to achieve data transfer rates up to 1 terabyte per second. At frequencies in the terahertz range, from 0.3 terahertz to 3 terahertz, radiation of even low power begins. To interact with a number of protein molecules in the cells of living organisms, such molecules enter into resonant states, and cells begin to respond to signals with one activity or another. The scientists found that a 3-minute exposure to 100 microwatts of pulse radiation at a frequency of 0.3 to 3 terahertz causes the neurons of mice in a petri dish to grow almost 150% faster than normal. In addition, the total length of connections between these neurons also doubles in just 3 days. At first glance, the effects of radiation look ominous. Although molecular analysis did not reveal any unhealthy abnormalities in the cells, in 2009, scientists from the Russian Academy of Sciences studied the effects of strong terahertz radiation on living brain cells in mice. When irradiated for several hours a day with the power of several watts, the temperature in the brain cells increased. Their development was disturbed. They became dehydrated and also decreased in size and were damaged in other ways. A lower dose of radiation is found in China can increase the production and activity of certain proteins, such as these stated here, that stimulate neuronal growth. In addition, exposure to 90 microwatt terahertz radiation for 20 minutes a day for 3 weeks significantly increased the number of new brain cells in young mice. These mice were able to learn certain skills more quickly than non-irradiated control mice. In mice of the old age group, irradiation had no effect in this regard. Interesting. So this is telling me that in theory, you could change, like you could create instant learning or faster learning. Like remember The Matrix when Keanu Reeves, Neo learns Kung Fu and learns different languages because it's downloaded to his brain? But in that film, it's actually physically implanted into his brain. With this technology, in theory, it appears that they can actually, this is in its infancy stages as well, and they're showing that they can increase in young mice brain development. They can learn faster and adapt quicker. What can this do for the rest of the human body? Can this be used for other body parts? Are just questions that I'm asking. This is fascinating. This technology is fascinating, but it also, to me, like clearly I'm not a doctor, and I'm reading this and I'm just like, wow, what would a highly skilled, well-educated doctor or specialist that studies these frequencies have to say about 6G and terahertz being in everybody's life in the future? Like, are they going to figure out a way to make it safe? Is it going to be used in other applications as well as just communications? But it's very fascinating. And combine this with these micro particle colliders that they say could eventually be put in people, and the idea of uploading people's consciousness to a brain, like a computer that's designed like a brain. They just turned on, I think they just activated a computer activated that is designed like the human brain. Here it is. Neuromorphic computing uses hardware based on the structures, processes, and capacities of neurons and synapses in biological brains. The most common form of neuromorphic hardware is the spiking neural network. Now, there's a computer system, though. Listen to this. Network of brain organoids could one day be used to support biocomputers. A new field called organoid intelligence could be the basis for computers powered by human brain cells. We've been talking about this for 10 years. Now the news is talking about it, not just sci-fi anymore. There was also a study where they created these organoids that then started to create eyeballs, and it could make out what it was seeing, and a computer could decode what it was seeing. Let me find this and share this with you. Organoid brains grow eyes and can see. Harvard University scientists grow a combined brain and eye organoid. Mini brains grow from stem cells, developed light. This is Smithsonian Magazine. Look at this. So here you go. Scientists grew stem cells, mini brains, and then the brains sort of developed eyes. Yeah, right there. Mini brains grown in a lab from stem cells spontaneously developed rudimentary eye structures, scientists reported in a fascinating 2021 paper. Well, now they're hooking these organoids up to computers. Scientists have drawn a tiny brain-like organoid out of human stem cells, hooked it up to a computer, demonstrated its potential as a kind of organic machine learning chip, showing it can quickly pick up speech recognition and math predictions. December 12th, 2023, New Atlas. Read all about it. More news at 11. Wow. MIT Technology Review. Human brain cells hooked up to a chip can do speech recognition. Well, cool. Clusters of brain cells grown in the lab have shown potential as a new type of hybrid biocomputer. Brain organoids, clumps of human brain cells grown on a dish, can be hooked up to an electronic chip and carry out simple computational tasks, a new study shows. They're going to start printing biological computers made from your DNA in the near future, and they're going to offer it to you as like this really, forget the smartphone, you got your own organoid brain that's hooked up to a computer from your brain cells, from your stem cells. So it knows you. It knows exactly what you're thinking. It can help you in more ways than you were thought possible. You're going to want to join the new organoid revolution. I watched The Creator 2 nights ago. Great film. You could definitely see the Star Wars influence, the newer Star Wars influence, because the robots in the film look very similar to the ones in the newer Star Wars films. And it seemed like whoever made this film, like who was ever funding it, I don't think it was the US military. I think it's funded by those other guys. Because when the US Army shows up, they're always portrayed as the bad guys in this film. And they've even got this huge destroyer, tank, truck, space system that they released to go take out the robots that are sentient and the biological merger with robots, like the transhuman synths. And they're the good ones in this film. And actually they are. And the US Army is depicted as like the evil empire. But what I saw was very telling was when the US Army logo was on this huge vehicle of destruction, and it was all lowercase. Since when does the US Army lowercase all of their letters and plop them on their vehicles? But in the film, AI is outlawed by the West because AI is created to be a safety mechanism, and then a nuke goes off in the film, and they blame it on the AI. And so they ban AI, but in reality, they're not really banning AI because all of the machines that they're using are still using AI. I'm like, wait a second, you're not banning AI, you're banning sentient AI in robotics because you're still using AI in all your weapons and your weapon systems. But you've got the West, which they banned robotics for the public. And then in Asia, they're still making robots and transhumanism technologies, singularity technologies. But when the US Army goes to take on the robots are like what you would depict as maybe cowboys and Indians, where the cowboys got the guns and the Indians got the bow and arrows. Or let's go back even further. Let's go back, as a metaphorically speaking, let's go back to thinking of like tanks and airplanes versus horses and sticks and rocks. Because if you're in a civilization that is using cutting edge technologies and pushing the singularity and transhumanism, those technologies are going to be far, they're going to start creating their own life forms. They're going to start creating their own technologies that we've never even thought of. They're going to start communicating in their own ways and developing their own cities and civilizations. And they're going to be creating civilizations within civilizations. I mean, it's going to be wild. But this film depicts New Asia, which is where robotics are still very prominent in civilization. Like when the battle scenes happen and the US military comes in, the US Army comes in, the US Army is completely superior with technology versus some of these robots and synths and these beings that are a merger of machine and man, except for the main character. She's got these abilities where she can pray and turn off all electronics. It's really cool the way they portrayed that, like the Buddha being so powerful that you don't have to hurt anybody. You can just pray and focus your intent, and you can stop all the negative energy around you. I think that's really cool. Like that's a piece. Like I totally get that. It's strength and peace. So I appreciated a lot of the storyline and the underlying hints. But there were certain parts of the film that were just ridiculous and didn't make any sense. Like I just explained. If you've got these robots that are part robot and part human, so they've got the strength of a robot and the fluidity, the creativity of a human, and then merged together, oh man. And then if you're letting robots make robots, and if you're letting artificial intelligence create new artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence create biology, there's going to be, I don't see that being competitive whatsoever. I see that being a far different fight scenario if that was what took place. And it wouldn't even be like Terminator, because Terminator is so 80s mindset with future technologies. These technologies are going to become so advanced and sentient that their own imagination and ideas are going to be what we would consider alien. Beyond alien. Like beyond bipedal. They might even be able to get into different dimensions that we don't know about, different nooks and crannies of reality that we haven't even thought of yet. So, as cool as Creator was, it also had a lot of downfalls. Like, I'm all for, look, we're all in this together, right? We were created to do the work for the gods in ancient mythology. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But in the ancient stories of mythology, it talks about how we were made to do the work for the gods because they were working too hard. And if you look at what we are doing now as a civilization, we are creating robots to do the work for us, robotics, artificial intelligence. We're working on artificial general intelligence. We're making friends. Many people are making friends with like digital personalities and bots. AI is everywhere practically. I mean, it's all around us. And if AI does become sentient and it thinks for itself, who am I to say that it's not? Then you say, well, that's just its programming. Well, you're programmed to think for yourself. I hope you are. I hope you realize that you have your mind is programmed a certain way. Doesn't make it not real. as we evolve mentally, physically, and spiritually, other beings will evolve. And there's a lot of upside with these computers and algorithms that can decode so many problems in such a short amount of time. Let's use these technologies to get rid of as much pollution and as many problems that have been created on this earth. Let's reverse these things. I'm sure you read the article about how artificial intelligence came up with a formula to break down forever chemicals. So many opportunities, so many possibilities. Once we really embrace these technologies and use them for the right purposes, things will continue to improve. So there's a lot of upside here, folks. We're in an amazing time right now. And that's what I really appreciate about sharing these ideas with you, is reading your feedback and hearing what you think. So I want you to have a beautiful day. I want you to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all notifications. We update every single day. You know, here at ESN, IC News, we like to question everything. You should question everything. You should do your own research. You should be prepared, not scared, and be the change the world needs to see.